Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and today what we're going to do is work on our E-Club kit for January. And I'm not going to show everything, but I'll show it as I use it. So this is the paper pad. I will show that. It's a 6x8. And then you got some cardstock, 3 different colors of cardstock, I believe. This one is very, very thick. Well, they're all thick, but that one's extra thick. You got some seam binding, some VersaFine ink. You got some little butterfly brads. You got some bling. You got some extra butterflies, stickers that you can put on here. And your floral bits, glossine bag, and some old book page. And then you got a precision tip little glue bottle or applicator bottle. It doesn't have to be glue, but we had a lot of people ask about these, so we decided to go ahead and put them in the January kit, and that way everybody that has the kit can get one. Now we do have a few of the kits left, so if you want one, I'll put that link below. But we're going to get started on this. What we're going to make is a journal. Duh! Does that surprise you that I'm going to make a journal? Oh, and you also got your nice bag. I love my bags. They're waterproof and they zip. They don't tear. I love them to keep all my stuff in. So I'm just going to put, well, I'm not going to put that back in there because I might end up using that one. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to show you how to make a journal that I made many, many years ago. And I made it out of cardstock, but we're going to glue our pages together. Instead of, folding them this way and all that, we want our pages to be upright like this. So we're going to hinge our pages. So this is going to be a hinged page journal. Now, this is 2 of the pieces of cardstock that I got. I'm going to put 2 pieces together to make my cover stronger. If you want it even stronger than this, you can go ahead and put another piece of cardstock or, piece of chipboard, whatever in between this. But I think the 2 pieces, once we get them glued together, those are pretty thick. This is a basil, I believe. That's what we normally order. Yes, this is basil cardstock, so both of them are pretty thick. Now, I did not cut the edges off, as you can see. I'm going to use those too to make my journal a little bit larger. Now, when you fold these pieces together, you'll notice that you have just a tiny bit of that inside one sticking out. Because when you fold it, it's going to make the inside one push out a little bit. So we're going to trim this one off just a tiny bit. But first I'm going to make sure that I have got it folded correctly. Now it may take us a couple of videos to do this little journal because it takes a little bit of time. It doesn't take a long time, but it takes me a little bit of time to do it. Because I have to think in between, I haven't done one in many, many years, so we're going to see. Now, all I'm going to do is try my best to just shave a hair off of this. Just a hair. There we go. Little bitty piece. So there's some little pieces right there. Then we'll see if that doesn't fold even better when we fold it up. Yes, now that dark piece is back on the inside and we don't have to worry about it sticking out. Now, I'm going to put, I'm going to put probably lace on the edge of mine anyway, so it's not really going to make that big a difference. But if you're not planning on putting any lace or anything on yours, it's just be a good way to do it, to hide anything in the edges like that. Now, I am going to stitch around mine, but I'm going to glue it down first, and then we're going to work on our pages. So I'm not going to, do a lot of stitching on camera. We're just going to glue it down first, and then we're going to start working on pages. Now, I'm just putting glue here and there. I'm not going to try to get it glued down exactly perfect. I just want it to stay while I am stitching it, so... And I tried yesterday to get my stitching on camera. It just didn't work. My 2 cameras did not, they didn't like each other. Let's put it that way. they would not interact, so I couldn't edit everything. It kept giving me errors, so sorry about that. I will have to try another camera. I have one more that I can try. I'll have to try it, I guess. Okay, there we go. With that, we've got that stuck down, and that feels nice and firm, so I think we'll be okay. And we will decorate and cover the front to keep it from being just a solid piece of paper. We're going to lay that aside right now and let that start drying. Now, our piece, let me go ahead and measure this while we got this over here. This piece is 5 3/4 wide, but we know we can't do our signatures that wide because they would all bulge out the side. So we're probably going to cut these down to 5 1/4. That will give us a little bit extra wiggle room in there. So we're going to cut them at 5 1/4, and it's 8 1/2, so I think we'll be good on the height. I think we'll just have to shave. Yeah, those are 8, 5 1/4. So we'll take about 3/4 of an inch off of each side of these pages, and then we'll use those other places in our journal, so we're not going to throw those away. Now what you need to do first is go through and pick out the pages that you want to go together. Not that these are going to sit side by side, but just pages that you want to look good in your journal. Now, I want this to be my first page when you open the journal up. So the way I'm going to hinge it is, let's see, that would go, yeah, like that. I'm going to hinge it with that one on the front and this one on the back. Or I can hinge it like that with that one on the back, whichever way I wanted to do it. Let's see, I might hinge it that way. Now, these two are not going to sit side by side, but of course, because we're going to put other pages in here. Right now, I'm just going to kind of get my pages going, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right. Now, I'm going to cut these down first to 5 1/4. After we cut these down, I'm going to show you how we're going to hinge these. Okay, now that's going to make some good pieces right there for us to use. We'll set that aside. And you do want to make sure that you trim them the same size. And what I am going to use to hinge these with is some coffee dyed paper. On your coffee dyed paper, you need to make sure that it's kind of thick. Don't just use regular printer paper. Use something that's a little bit thicker. But that's what I'm going to use to hinge mine with. And this is probably a 32-pound paper. And I'm just going to try to tear it down just a little bit. I don't need that much. I don't want to cover up a lot of my images on here. So I'm just going to make it a little bit narrower. Now that we've done that, we're going to try to tear it down straight. How does that sound? Oh, me. I have this problem with tearing. And you could cut them all if you want and not tear them. It doesn't matter. I may cut some, I may tear some. The tear's not really going to show. I just started out tearing. Okay. Now, another thing that you could do, these pieces that you cut off, you could also hinge with if you want to do that. That's about the right width. So if you had rather do that, you can do that. It doesn't matter. I may hinge with some of both. Who knows? I may do that. Let's see. You know, I could hinge with that. That's kind of pretty. Let's see what this one looks like on here. Oh, I like that one. Hinged with that one. Let's just do that. See, I changed my mind right in midstream. That's the way I do it. All right, we're just going to put this in our scoreboard. And hopefully this will be cut straight so you won't have to worry about trimming them up. It's going to be the exact right length. Now I'm just going to score in half. Right in the center. So I am scoring at, let's see, that's scored at 3/8. And I'm going to go ahead and score this other one because guess what? We'll use it on the other side. You want to put double hinges on. But if you don't have a e-kit and you want to do this anyway, you can always do it using, you know, just your coffee dyed paper or just some cardstock. whatever you have. Okay, I'm going to fold that. You're going to go ahead and fold this piece. Now, I'm going to use, let's see, I'm probably going to use score tape. Just because score tape is really good to hinge with. It sticks well, it holds well, it sticks fast, sometimes too fast. But you can always put your score tape down, and then you can put a little glue stick on top of it if you want, and that will give you a little wiggle room. Now this is 1/8 of an inch. It's really too narrow, but I'm going to use it. I'm just going to put, I may put 2 runs on these. I don't know. We'll try this one with the 1/8 inch. If it doesn't work, then I'll go and get some of our 1/4 inch. Okay. Now, if you want to ink your pages up or anything like that, go ahead and do it now. Oh, and you don't have to use all of your pages. You can use, like, you could put a design paper here and then a coffee dyed paper here. Any way that you want. And I'll probably do that on some of them, just because I don't think I want, let's see, that's not the one I wanted on here. I don't think I want all of the design paper in here, because I want places to journal, things like that. Now, when you're putting this down, see I have it folded in the middle, and you're going to put it right up to the edge. A little bit past the edge will be okay, because you need to give that paper room to fold over. And just put it as straight as you possibly can. And see, I only took the adhesive backing off of one side. Now I'll take it off the other side. Okay, I am going to sit these pretty close. I'm just going to leave a tiny, tiny gap between them. And I'm going to make sure, or try to make sure, that I get them the right height, so that I'm putting them down pretty even. There we go. All right, so that page is hinged. I like it. But we're going to go ahead and put a hinge on this side, just because we want to make sure that nothing tears or comes loose, anything like that. So again, just take the backing off of one side of your tape, run your piece down through there, right at the edge. Burnish it down, open it up, take the backing off of the other side. You may have to fold it a couple of times. Now, I will tell you, some of this paper is cracking, so you may want to use a different paper, or you may want to spread your pages out just a tiny bit. I may have got these a little bit close, and that's why that paper's cracking. So next time I'll score on both sides, and then I will spread them out just a little bit more to keep it from having so much tension in here. But see, then these will go in just like this. Like that right there. There will be my first page. And I don't mind that a little bit of that's cut off, because you can still read it. And then we'll add other pages in here, and we'll stitch in our signatures. So before I stitch these in, I may go down through there with just a little piece of washi tape or a little bit of glue or something. I don't know. I'll reinforce that again somehow. So instead of using this paper on mine, I may go ahead and use some of this paper. It just seems like it might be a little bit stronger. All right, let's see which pages we want to put together next. Okay, I like those two together. So some of this is Valentine, some of it is not. You don't have to use it as Valentine though, of course. You can use it with anything that you want, but those two pages are cute together. I like that. Yeah, and the back looks good together too. Okay, we're going to cut these down to 5 1/4. Okay, now I'm going to hinge these with something else, and then we'll see if the hinging is going to be any different, and I think it will. Okay. Now, if you wanted that to be more in the center, you could cut off over here. That doesn't bother me. I don't care. Okay, we're going to hinge with that right there. And I know it's not exactly straight, but I'm still going to score it where I scored the other one. And that way, whoops, wrong one. That way I can at least get it straight on my page, hopefully. Then we'll fold it in the middle, and I will just trim off this excess here. So we'll probably go through and cut some of these pieces just to have them ready. Okay, so then that is going to go down through there, and I think this will work much better. Now you can use a wet glue on this if you want. I've just always hinged with score tape. It's just what I'm used to, but a wet glue will work just fine. The backing off of one side. Oops. You have to move your finger. I tell myself that all the time. You have to move your finger. Alright. So put this down as close as you can get to the edge. And try not to wrinkle your page when you go down through there. Try to make it stay as flat as possible. There we go. And I'm just going to go ahead and trim this a little bit off since it was a little bit too tall. That's fine. We don't care. Just trim it off. Now we'll take our backing off of this one. Now on this one, I think I will put my pages a little bit further apart than I did on that first one, just to give them a little bit of bend room. I don't think it really matters with this, using this type paper, but we just want to have a little bit of room in there. Okay, I'm gonna lay it down like that, and then just press those together. See, I've got just a tiny bit, maybe a 1/16, maybe an 1/8. I don't know. It's very little. All right. Tell you what, let's use this. I know this is nice and thick, and we'll cut some of these. Now I'm going to cut them, let's see, I'm going to cut them at 1 inch. I'll just cut a couple and show you what I'm doing, and I'll cut the remainder of them off screen because there's no reason for you to watch me do the same thing over and over and over again. Okay, I've cut them at 1 inch, and then I'm going to score down the middle. Now this one's going to be a little bit wider, but that's okay with me. I'm going to score it 1/2. Another thing that you could do, if you want to make these little pieces a little bit decorative, you could use your punch on the edges and use your edge punch and do that. So we'll put that down right there. But see, a lot of this is not going to show once you get it stitched in your signature. So, and even if it does, it doesn't bother me. This is a coffee dyed paper, and I think that goes with just about anything. Now fold it back up. Then you're going to pull that one side off of the backing, not the tape. Okay, and then I like to fold this back up, and then you're going to put it down right at the edge. So I got that one down. Just burnish it, and then pull the backing off of this side and lay that down. Now these should fold without any problem, and they do. There is no hindrance there, and that paper doesn't crack, so that's what we want. Make sure that you put both of your pages the right way up. I just now looked at mine and I was thinking, oh me, did I put them upside down? And see, then this would fit inside there. Now, we are probably going to have to come back and trim some of these off just a little, or we can start shaving just a little off of each one that we cut. I'm not going to worry if it's not any more than that sticking out. That doesn't bother me. I'm not going to try to make them just perfectly straight. But, you know, the more you put in here, the more they're going to stick out. So you may have to start shaving off just a tiny bit here. And if you want this perfectly straight, just go ahead and shave off That looks like about 1/8 of an inch on that one. So we're probably going to need to take about 1/8 of an inch off of each one that we put together. But I'll show you the next 2 pages that I'm going to pick. And then I will probably do some of these pages off screen. Let's see what we got. Black there, so this would be pretty to put in there. And I think on this side I'm going to put a piece of coffee dyed paper. Let's see, put that there. Nope, I'll put this here like that. That will be up against that, so that'll be good. And then we can put a piece of coffee dyed here. And I'm just going to cut it down just to the size that we need. I'm probably going to shave a little bit off of this one. Okay, now this, of course, is 6 inches. So we're going to cut these down. Let me go ahead and cut this end on this one down first. Okay. So I'm going to put these 2 together. And instead of cutting them at 5 1/4, I am going to come down to about 5 1/16, or about 5 1/8. Yeah, 5 1/8. We'll see what that does. There's a good strip right there that we can use. Okay, and then these 2 would go together like this, and I love that with this. That's pretty. So, yep, that's perfect. This, we're just going to score in the middle. Okay, and then this one, I think I'm just going to cut it down to the size that we need. So I'm gonna go ahead and score it at 3/8, and then I'll just shave off the extra. I want it to be a little bit narrower than 1 inch. So this is, let's see how wide this is. That'll give you an idea if you want to cut some. This one is 3/4, and I think that's the perfect width. If you any wider than that, and it does show a little bit more. So all I'm going to do now is just cut that extra off right there. So the other ones that I cut, I'll cut them at 3/4. Okay. And of course I know this is too long, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'll cut it off in the end. Alright, I'm going to hinge this one, and then we'll probably hinge some off screen, and then we'll come back and start doing some decorating on these. So pull your backing off of one side, and then again just lay it down. And if you can get right up over it, which I can't, you can lay it on your table and make sure that you get it straight. I can't get right up over it, so I'm having to pick it up. Well, I could, but you guys would see my hair. And it's a hot mess today because today is hair cutting day. Now let's go ahead and put that on a line right there. And put this one right close to it. All right, there is that page done. On that side, isn't that pretty? Then we'll do it on this side. I like hinging things. I used to make all kinds of 3D projects, and I would hinge just about everything. I told my husband if I had a big enough chipboard that I could probably build another house just by hinging the chipboard together like this. He didn't think that was too funny. Oops. Okay. Fold that over. I got a little tiny bit of a pucker there, but it will work out in the end. We fold it a few times, it'll be fine. All right, there's that fold. And then fold it this way. And when you fold it, just bring the ends of your paper together, and then you may have to, make your fold a little bit different. And if that, if you got it crooked like I did right then. See, I've got it crooked. But you can straighten it out just with your bone folder. So there is another page, or 2 more pages. And that would sit in there. And see, that one doesn't stick out. That one sits back in there. Looking good. I like that. Now, I don't know how many pages I'm going to put in here. Probably, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll probably put about 3 more pages in here, double pages, and then I'll stitch it in. But, you know, we'll do some different decorating and things like that first. So let me get some more pages made, and then our double pages put together, and then we'll come back. And if I need to, I'll even this up, and then we'll start stitching everything in our signature. And then we'll do some decorating on the outside of this. But see, that makes perfect journal right there. I love it. And we've got some book corners now that we can put on these too. I have a few more pages finished for this. I think I only put a total of 7 double pages, but you know, that gives you what, 28 front and back. So I have clipped them in here. I've gone ahead and stitched around my cover, and then we're going to go ahead and stitch the signature in. And I'll show you what all pages that I put. I didn't put, I think, but 3 more in after I went off camera. So we're just punching those holes. I didn't measure. You can measure if you want. I'm going to start in the middle. Now I'm going to put other stuff on the outside of this. I'm probably going to put some lace on the edge. And I'm probably going to put some lace on the spine, so I'm not going to worry about it if my hole punched a little bit bigger, because this is cardstock. It's going to do that a little bit. But since I'm going to cover it with lace, I'm not going to worry too much. It will hold just fine. All right. And then I go all the way down to the bottom, and I'm just using some hemp twine to do this. I'm going to have to punch that hole a little bit larger. I've got a pretty big needle here that I'm working with. So, all right, and then I come back up through the middle. And I just make sure that when I come up, I'm on the opposite side of that thread, the one that goes down the center. Okay, let's pull it tight. Then I just make sure I don't have anything on the back that's going to hinder it. I need to cut a little of that off. I can use that elsewhere. And then I just tie a double knot. And you can tie a bow in the middle, or you can just leave it to put charms on. I'm just going to tie a bow for right now. Then we have our signature in, so we can take these off. Now, some of my pages may not be exactly the same size, but they're pretty close. I trimmed them, you know, I alternated trimming them, so they're okay with me. I'm going to clip this edge just until I can get my piece on the front. Now this is what I decided to put on the front. I tore this out, and then I tore a black piece of cardstock and kind of put behind it, and then I stitched around the edges, and that's about all that I did to that. So I'm going to put that down right there, just like that. I think that black just brings it out, so I'm going to, that's why I chose to put that on there. Let's see. I had one other thing in mind that I thought I might do. Let me close this back up first. So I think before I glue it down, I might use these little silver butterflies and put in the corners. I just think they're cute, and I wanted to use them, and I think on the corners of this will be the best spot. So I'm just going to take my hole punch and punch a little hole right in the corner of all of these. They don't have to be perfectly even. I'm just going past my stitching. There we go. Okay, and that's just a 1/8 inch hole punch there. And then I'll put these little butterflies in here. Oh, those are cute. Then we'll glue it down, and that way we won't have any of this. And excuse my fingers, I have been spraying some things this morning, so I've got ink all over me. These will look so pretty. And we won't have this backing going through to the inside, so I like that. With the butterfly breads. Take that. Alright, we're going to have that one flying down, I think. He's flying down. The rest of them are flying up. No, I think we need him flying up too, because he looks kind of funny flying upside down. Which I know they do. They fly in all different directions. Okay. And there is that one. So there are our little butterflies in the corners. Aren't those cute? Now we're going to glue this down. Okay. And I'm going to use my art glitter glue because I know it holds real well. And it usually catches pretty fast. So I'm going to put it all the way up to the edge. And then we'll come back and put quite a bit over that stitching, because we want this to stitch down really well. Or stick down really well. Okay, got tons of glue on there. So let's go ahead and take that off real quick. And I don't mind if it covers up my stitching on this side, because I've got stitching on here anyway. So I just want to try to get it pretty even if I can. Slide it up a little. Ooh. There we go. That's even enough, I think. I'll put a little bit more down through here since this is going into the curve of the spine. I just want that to stick down well. Alright, there we go. That is the front. I love that. And I don't know, I might put a little bit of bling in some of these butterflies, the center. I don't know. I'll wait and see on that. Now, right here, I wanted to put a pocket, and I have gone ahead and made the pocket. It's just going to be one that has a little bit of an expand to it. You know, I've showed you how to make these pockets lots of times. And I'm going to put it right there. But I'm going to ink it up, and I'm going to use the VersaFine ink that came in the kit. This is a, what is it called? It is called Smoky Gray, and it's very, very pretty. It's really about the color of this, or a little bit darker. And I'm just going to hold the pad up to the edge. I don't want it to go all over. I just want it right on the edge. Now, I'll tell you, this needs to dry. VersaFine ink doesn't dry as fast as Tim Holtz ink does. So we're going to let this dry. I'm going to set it over here somewhere and let it dry. Set it on that paper so it won't get all over my desk. Then what I did was I went ahead and sprayed the glossine bag that's in there. This is just sprayed with some Vintage Photo re-inker and water. And then I cut out this little piece just out of the collection, and we're going to put that down right there. And I'm just using my art glitter glue. I could use Barely Arts, but this is not going to show through on the, you know, it's going to show through on the inside, but we're going to have something in there. So it's not going to show through on the outside. If I was doing it clear, something clear on top, I would definitely use Barely Arts because it doesn't pucker your vellum. Okay, so there's our little pocket, and I think that's all I'm going to put on that. So I'm going to lay that aside and let that dry. Then, and now, on the back, this is how I found out that ink doesn't dry real fast. I actually laid the front cover down on my desk, and then I laid this down on my desk, and it did this. So guess what? We're going to cover it, and we're going to cover it with scraps. Yes, we are. I could cover it with a piece of the paper, but I don't want to. I'm just going to use my scraps and cover this. Now, I am going to just lay some pieces out, and then we'll start gluing in a minute. But there's going to be no rhyme or reason. It's just going to be scraps covering the back. And this, if this is not for you, then don't do it. This is just, I don't mind doing something like this. It doesn't bother me. And let's see. I don't mind if they're all the same height. I don't mind if some of them are a little bit taller than others, but looks like I'm getting close to the same height. So I might take this one out and put that one down. So I've got lots of pieces here that we can use up, so that way none of these will go to waste. Let's see, I'm going to slide that one over and put this one between. And I think I have this one, maybe we'll go right there. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's see, I'm trying to decide if I want to ink them or not. I don't think I'm going to ink them, because if I ink them, I'm going to have to wait and let them dry. So I'm just going to glue them down. This is just another way you can use up those scraps and make a really pretty cover. I think it's pretty. Anyways, that's my opinion. Okay, now this one's going to go on this, the slant part, the part that's turning a little bit for the spine. So I'm going to put extra glue under that one, just so that the edge will be held down well. There we go. You can always come back and add glue. I tell you what, I think I'm going to go to this side over here and put this one down next. So we're using up scraps and making a journal. And there is no rhyme or reason to my spacing them out. I just space them out a little bit. That looks pretty good to me. That's the way I go about it. You could put them all right up close together and make just a solid piece of paper if you wanted. But I'd rather space them out just a little bit. Alright, oops, slid that one. Don't want to slide you. Sorry about that. Okay. Now, let's see. We've already got dots on there. Oh, let's put the butterfly side up. Yeah. We've got some dots here. We don't want to put double dots. Okay. And then this one, let's see what side we want to use. I think we'll use the other side because this side is doesn't really have a lot of pattern on it. It's that wood grain one. Okay. Oops. I keep pulling on them. Alright, and then we've got this one, and I do need one more. Or I could just put, let's see. Now I think I'm going to have one more little one. That one, I don't know if that one will work. Let's see. Well, that'll work okay. It's the one that has the little cutouts on it, but it'll work okay. We'll use it. Okay, and then our last one. And this one's not exactly cut straight, but that doesn't bother me. Doesn't have to be. Okay, so there is the back cover, and I like that. I can still see just a little bit of ink on there, right there, but that doesn't bother me. That's fine. Not a biggie. But you could go ahead and cut out one of these if you wanted to and put a couple of those on there. I'm not going to decorate the back that much. I start to say front, but that's the back. Not going to decorate the back that much. Now, I do want to ink around this, but I'm going to wait until I get other things finished before I do any inking on that. So this should be dry enough. Let's see. Yes. We can go ahead and put this down. And I cut it just big enough to go inside my stitching. Oops, come on now. trying not to get glue all over me, and I managed to get it everywhere. Okay. Okay. So then we have a nice pocket that we can tuck quite a bit of things down in. So that's good on that. And let's see, the butterfly that we got in the kit, I think I'm going to put that one right up there. He'll just be kind of flying away. There we go. Ooh, isn't that cute? I love that. And we need to put something on here. So we've got all of these die cuts, so we can decorate that up with die cuts. That one's pretty. So let's do that, and then we'll have a couple of butterflies on there. Or maybe this one. Let's see which one. No, that one's a little bit big. Try that one. And we do, I think we still do have a couple of these left. These packs of ephemera. I haven't had time to really look and get them all separated out, but I will see how many we have and I'll list those up. It's a nice fat pack of ephemera and it's got some really pretty things in it. Now I'm going to ink this up, but I'm only going to ink it with Distress ink, Vintage Photo. I just want to cover up that white that's around it. I could trim it off, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to take the time to do it. And I know that the Vintage Photo is going to dry real fast, so that will help me. I can go ahead and put that down on there. And then I'll ink around my flower a little bit to cover that white. Okay, I think I'm going to put a little piece of book page behind this. This book smells so good. This is the book that we sent in the kit. And I have used my pages in here, so I'll show you those in a minute. But I had a couple of pages left. So we're going to use this behind that. Yes. And again, I'm just going to ink it in Vintage Photo. That's going to be fine. You could ink it in the gray if you want, but just make sure that you let it dry before you touch it up against something else. VersaFine doesn't dry as fast. Okay, put that down. Ooh. Uh-oh, I had two book pages I didn't even realize. Okay, let's start all over. Glued one down and inked the other. Wasn't that smart? I thought that felt like a little bit of thickness, but this book did have some thicker pages in it, so I wasn't going to complain. Okay. Then we can put our, oh yeah, that makes it stand out a lot better, I think. We'll put our flower down and the little butterfly. And I'll put him flying that way just so it looks like he's following that guy. Now, since I put this butterfly here, I feel like I need another butterfly. So we're going to put this little tiny guy on there. He's a little bitty one, but we'll put him like right there. And he can be following Mama, I guess. Maybe that's Mama. All right. That, we'll make a tag for that. But that's all I'm going to do to that right now. Okay. So these are my pages. As you can see. See, I like that. I don't mind that at all. And this is the book pages that was in the kit. So I just reinforced those. I put a piece of the paper on that. Scrap that I had. This is just a coffee dyed sheet that I had in my stash, and I put that in. And then there's another page. There's the center. And then the same back here. Isn't that pretty? I love how it turned out. It's going to be a nice journal. Okay. And on, let's see, on this one, on this side we have, let's see, let me find the one right before the book page. Okay, this side we have a piece of the paper, and then on this side I glued a coffee dyed. So that's coffee dyed and paper. I think I did that on camera yesterday. But then there is the center, and I'll probably clip this tonight just so that it can flatten out a little bit more. Now we can put our little bag in here somewhere, wherever we might want to put it. And I'll put a tag in it too. I don't mind it there, but let's see if it looks better somewhere else. Oh, I kind of like it on that side of the coffee dyed, because you've got this green and it's pulling that green over there. What do you think? Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Now on this, I will use the Barely Arts because we're putting vellum down, and this part of the vellum is going to show. So the Barely Arts doesn't warp your vellum, doesn't warp your paper, it doesn't have as much water in it as the art glitter glue does. So run my Barely Arts around there. And then I'm just going to kind of center it up and put that down there. Now, I like to take my bone folder and just press the edges of that down well, nice and flat. And then you cannot see that glue through it at all. Cute, I like that. Okay. Now we can I want to put more pockets through here. Some of these I will put as like side tucks. Like I could put that there as a side tuck, and I could tuck something in there. Let's see if we want it there or somewhere else. I don't want it there, don't want it there. Not sure about there, let's see. Nope, too busy. That kind of breaks that up a little bit. Let's do that. Put it there. And, ooh, I like to throw this at you. I'm going to round this one corner, and then I'm just going to ink it. Vintage photo. You can ink in the gray. If I was just leaving these out to dry, I would ink in the gray. But since we're doing a video, I'm just going to ink this way. Let's see. So we're going to put our glue down through here. And across the bottom. And then you're just going to put it right up in the corner. Alright, and then you just have a corner tuck that you can put some things in. Okay, I think on this one right here, I'm going to put this piece of scrap as just a belly band right down through there. And I'm just going to ink on both sides of it and then put that down. And that'll just help break those flowers up a little bit. And then we can tuck a little booklet or something in behind there. So that's good. I'll do something with the book pages. I don't know what right yet though. Okay. So we will do more in here, but I think that's all I'm going to do on this video. We'll make some tags, more pockets. So I want to use some of these butterflies, and I'm going to make some clips. I'll use some of these and make some clips to go on here because I want to use all of these up in here. And we'll use some of our bling, all kinds of things. We'll use more of the cutouts and more scraps to do different things with. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and we'll talk to you guys later. Don't forget, there's a few more of these kits left. If you want one, I'll have them linked below. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.